under the underpass. No lift shift. What's up, racing fam? Hope everybody's having a blessed day. So today we're going to jump straight into this kind of a no BS video, straight to the point. We're just going to jump into exactly what you need to do, what wires you need to connect to hook up your Watt box to your Dodge Challenger. So let's get to it. Alright, so this is my 2015 Dodge Challenger RT Shaker. I call the car Mad Maggie because it's got a Magnuson supercharger on it. So before I cover up and kind of tuck and hide all these wires up, I wanted to do this video just to see if I can help somebody out. So the first thing you got to do is you have to make basically a passenger side and a driver's side harness to tap into all your coils, which is this red wire you see on both sides of my car. So the first thing you got to do is make up that harness, and what you're going to do basically is you got to connect each coil to the harness that you make, and you're going to tap into the coil wire on every single coil. And it's kind of hard to see exactly what color these things are because of, you know, the age of the car, but they look like they're a brown and white wire, possibly a brown and yellow. But the easiest way to put it would be you're tapping into the coil wire that's closest to the cylinder head. Okay, so if you see how the plug is right here, it's the wire closest to the actual valve cover. Okay, so not the wire closest to the outside of the connector. So it's the inside wire going towards the engine, and that's going to be the same on both sides. Now once you make that harness up and you do that to both sides, you're going to conjoin those harnesses together, as you can kind of see right here. So this is the driver's side harness I made up. It looks identical to the passenger side, and then they're conjoined together, the driver's side and the passenger side. And what you're going to do is connect that to the orange wire on the WOT box. Okay, so that is what the orange wire is for. The yellow wire is going to connect to an injector signal. Okay, so your yellow wire from your WOT box will connect to an injector signal wire. Okay, so again, the yellow wire from the WOT box will connect to, it can be any injector, but I chose to do the back passenger side injector because that's where all the wires is coming through the firewall, and it's just going to make it easier and a nicer cleanup job once I cover everything up. But that yellow wire will connect to an injector signal wire. And on my car, again, this is a 2015 Dodge Challenger, they'll probably be similar. The color it appears to be, it looks like a brown and blue wire. And another way I could tell you is it would be the wire on the right side of the connector towards the red safety clip. So what I did, as you can see, is I used a blue Scotch pinch clip to connect that spot right there. Everything else I soldered together, but this particular connection and two others inside the car, I just chose to use a pinch clip because it's just I could have soldered this, no questions, but it's just easier right there, instead of trying to solder in a cramped spot right there. I just pinch clipped it. If it becomes an issue down the road, I'll solder it, but on my Ram truck that I race all the time, it's hooked up the same way. However, it's it's a different two-step system. It is not the WOT box that we have installed on this car. But however, that's how that is wired there. And then you will have a black wire coming out of the WOT box. That black wire I ran over here to this ground location. You can see the wire, and it's just grounded right here, and that is all that wire needs to do. I did have to lengthen it. I had to add about 2 feet of black wire to make that work, but that is where we mounted that. All right, and then what that leaves under the hood is the last red wire coming out of the WOT box. So the red wire coming out of the Watt box is going to connect to, and it can be any of the coil wires that you cut, because again, when you wire up this harness, you're cutting each one of those coil wires. So you're going to be left with, per se, like you can still see this one pretty easily. You can see where we cut the harness on the car side. So you got that leftover wire sticking out. So what I did is I used the back one, obviously, because all my wires is corner. So the red wire from the Watt box is going to connect to one of those coil wires that you cut on the vehicle harness side. So that's all you're going to do is connect that red wire to one of the coil wires on the vehicle harness side. So that is pretty much it under the hood as far as connections go. So we're going to go inside and get that one. All right, so we mounted, bear with me on that glare. I've got a bad glare coming in from the sun over there, and it's kind of dark. So we mounted the Watt box right there, as you can see, and in the back we drilled a hole to run our wiring harness through the grommet on the passenger side firewall, and I will go back and show you exactly where that grommet is, because I did forget to do that. But to be able to do that, if you want to do it this way, you do have to completely remove the glove box compartment out. Okay, so you're going to pop that out, pretty straightforward. And then you got to remove the actual glove box, I would call it the framing. So you got to pull these screws out along the edge here. Behind this cover, there's a couple screws, and then you can remove this entire glove box section, which pretty much exposes the rear firewall area, to where you can, you know, one, get this box out and actually drill a hole with the glove box compartment completely out, so it's easier, and run your wiring back there. And because I do have a shift light, I have the shift light plugged into the Watt box, and that wiring I just kind of tucked out the door here for temporarily. It's tucked down right here, and I got it kind of pinched under the dash here. As you can see, the little LED poking up. So that's kind of what I did for the Watt box shift light. All right, so for the grommet, as you can see, is right back there on the passenger side, right behind pretty much the valve cover area. So what you're going to do is take a razor blade. You're going to slit that and make an area so you can tuck wires through it. And it is double-sided, so you will have to slit the outside and slit the inside part also. And to do that, what I did is, you can see how that big rubber section, you can actually just grab that from inside the hood compartment area and pop that whole grommet out, and that actually makes it easier to do that and run the wires through the grommet and then pop the rubber grommet back into the firewall. That was the easiest way for me to do it. Alright, so then that just leaves 2 wires now that come from the Watt box. So, and they're going to connect on the driver's side floorboard area. One wire will connect to your gas pedal connector, and the other wire will connect to your clutch pedal connector. So I'm going to put up a picture of what that looks like and go over it with you real quick, so hang tight. So the blue wire from the Watt box is going to wire up to the gas pedal connector that's on top of the gas pedal under the floorboard right there. And it's a 5-wire connector, and it's going to be pin number 5, and the color is a white and brown wire. That is going to be where you tap into the blue wire for the gas pedal. Then for the clutch pedal, you're going to be looking for a 3-pin wire connector, and it's kind of way up in the top there, as you see. To the left side of that other connector, it's still plugged in, but it's a 3-wire connector, and it's going to be pin number 1, and the color is green and orange. That is where you're going to wire up the green wire for the clutch pedal. And that is pretty much it as far as all the wiring goes. All right, so hopefully that helps you out. I know this is kind of I'm not going to say one of my best videos. It's kind of just straight to the point, no BS. Like I said, just breaks down, you know, what wires do what wires go where. That's pretty much the basics of it. So other than that, I really hope the video helps somebody out that's trying to tackle this job themselves. It's really not hard. It took, you know, I'd say a good few hours with the proper tools and the time to do it. Other than that, the only thing you may run into that I was questioning and thought was an issue, but ended up not being an issue, is when you go to program the Watt box. I thought you could just have the car like accessory switch on without it running to program it, and that does not work. The box does not retain power constantly when you just have the car in accessory or run mode. The box will power up and then go right back off. The only time the box will have full power and you can program it and read and write to it is the car has to be running. So just throwing that in there. I kind of went around in circles with that, trying to figure out what was up, and that's pretty much all it is. The car has to be running for it to read and write, at least on this car and the way it's wired, which is the way it's supposed to be wired. So other than that, again, hope it helps you out. I definitely recommend it. It's probably the best $200 I've ever spent, and it's amazing. It's an amazing product. It's literally half the price of other 2-steps out there, and this thing does a heck of a lot more. The no lift shifts is just, you know, if you got a 3-pedal fun factory car, it's sick. It is just, it's pure sick. So yeah, there's that. So other than that, we'll see you guys on the next one.